Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show, live on WBON-TV Channel 9 and on radio at V99.3, Sports Radio 103.5 and Y92.5. Support your favorite local teams and enjoy the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show. Also brought to you by Bishop Small Engine Repair, Nuevo Vallarta, and the law offices of Patrick O'Neill. Now let's go live to your hosts, Michael Watkins and Samantha Burford.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show. It's Monday night. It's December. It's December 1st. I am ready with my holiday attire because I've got Santa behind me. There's red and green ribbons on all the vehicles here at Jack Burford Chevrolet. They're celebrating Christmas time, Hanukkah time, whatever you guys are ready for, we're ready for it too. So you can always get your great deals at jackburford.com. They've got lots of decorations out. So come on in, check it out. You can even come in on Monday nights. You can sit in these chairs, be ready for our sports show. Michael is on his way. He is coaching basketball. Little boy basketball, I should say. I'm not 100% sure of the age. I think it's like 3-year-olds, 2-year-olds. Anyway, you know he's having a great time, but he will be here. But I am going to start the show. My name's Samantha Burford. I'm excited to be here with you. You know, we have been talking a lot about football, a lot about college basketball, but tonight we are celebrating high school basketball. Boys and girls, we're getting the season ready. Tomorrow night is our first game. You'll be able to watch it on WBON-TV. We will be at Madison Central for the kickoff of this season's high school basketball. So to kick off our show tonight, we're going to hear from some of our high school basketball coaches. Our first one tonight is Madison Central's head basketball coach, Alan Feldhaus. Let's go with him first.
Here with Alan Feldhaus of the Madison Central Indians. And, Coach, it's another season for you at the helm for this program, and obviously a lot of expectations for you guys this year, looking at a lot of the rankings, your top 5 and a lot of them, top 10, and every single one of them that I've seen at least. But when you talk about this team, obviously you lose Cody Morrison from last year's team, but you got everybody else coming back, plus a couple of new additions. So just talk about the roster and how excited you are to get this season going.
Yeah, when you return, especially when we return 6 seniors that have been with us for a long time, and they're quality seniors, all that are going to play and be in the rotation. It doesn't happen very much for us, but when it does, we're usually pretty good. And then, of course, the addition of our transfer of Grayson Burton, sophomore, who averaged 21 points a game as a freshman last year for Knox Central, and he was kind of exactly what we needed. Really on both ends of the floor. Grayson 6'4", and a half, and long arms, can shoot it, takes up a lot of space defensively. So, yeah, we're excited. Preseason, preseason can be a grind as far as practicing for a long time without playing any games, but it's probably been one of the most enjoyable preseasons that I've had. It's because of the guys. I mean, their attitudes are great. They're excited. Practice has been very enthusiastic. So it's been fun, because sometimes preseason is not, honestly. I'll be very honest with you.
Well, one thing that, and obviously, what your resume kind of speaks for itself, but what I've really enjoyed in just, doing games with you at the helm of this team, and you have really been able to kind of adapt a lot of the times to what your players are. When you look at this team, is there anything different that you'll have to do that maybe you haven't done in recent years with the size and the length and the shooting and maybe the depth that you've got this year as opposed to maybe the last 3 or 4?
Well, I think it's the first time, maybe ever, but first time in a long time where I think I have guys that can score at every position. Our 2 scrimmages that we've had thus far, we've had 4 people in double figures, high double figures, to be honest with you. And that hadn't happened very long. The last one we had, and 2 others with 9 points. So that's the encouraging thing. Jake and Grayson both averaged over 20 last year. I don't think they'll need to average 20 this year because we have other people that can score. I mean, Luke averaged 15 last year. Will Richardson he's really looked good. I think he scored 19 in both of our scrimmages thus far. But it helps. Of course, we run a lot of motion. When you have multiple people that can score, you don't have to run a lot of set plays. So we kind of turn loose on offense and do a lot of 4 out and even 5 out because we just think we have a lot of guys that have the ability to score. So that part's unusual. And with this team, defensively, it's probably the longest team that I've had with length, at multiple positions. We've even been playing some zone, looking at a zone. I think it can help us against some of our regional opponents, and it's been good. I'm just very reluctant to play zone because I don't think we can rebound as well out of it. But when you got the size that we have, 6'8", 6'5", 6'4.5", we should be a little bit better rebounding out of a zone this year. So you might see a little bit more zone from us than we've played in the past.
Okay. Well, when you look at the schedule, and obviously your schedule every year is maybe, if not one of, it is the most difficult across the state. And it's not, right out of the gate, you got a good Pulaski County team. You got GRC early on, Bryan Station, playing the King of the Bluegrass. You got Trinity a couple of times on the schedule. Douglas, of course. The game, you can go on and on and on. But when you look at the schedule this year, talk about it and the King of the Bluegrass tournament, what that means to be able to compete in that.
Yeah, and I have a good relationship with Lloyd Gardner, who runs the King of the Bluegrass, and he pretty much just leaves it up to me. He said, Coach, because I don't want to go up there if we're not good enough to go. I'll just be quiet. You get embarrassed, you go up there. So he pretty much leaves it up to me. And if I have teams that I think that compete, at a statewide level, we like to go. I think this is probably the 4th time that we've played in. Of course, we won it in '99 when we had Marquise Eskel and Keneal, Brandon Fritz and Chucky Campbell. We played in it 3 other times. So, yeah, that's that tournament. It's great for you guys to get to go to Louisville and just see that type of atmosphere. But we've been invited to every other big classic there is. The Hall of Fame Classic, there where we play Bryan Station, and then Douglas plays Montgomery County. It's over at Montgomery County. That's a big one. This weekend, we play in the Mr. Basketball Classic over at GRC. We play Greene County, who they're ranked and very athletic team. Then you add in the King of the Bluegrass and then all the other normal teams that we play. So, yeah, it's just another tip here. But this one's kind of exceptional because we have been invited to all the classics. We've got the Joe B. and Denny Hall Classic where we play Bowling Green over at Montgomery County. So, get to play I do like getting to play some teams that we don't normally play year in and year out. We always have the Cov Cavs and all the teams in our region, the GRCs, but we have a few others added in there this year.
Well, one thing I wanted to ask you about, too, before we let you go, obviously, you've got your daughter now coaching over at Morehead State. As the grind for you officially starts with the game starting tomorrow night, talk about what it's been like being able to be around her and seeing her take over this program and kind of reach new heights in her career.
Yeah, the good thing about college, they start so early. They have a lot of games in November. So I got to go watch them yesterday. They had a big upset win over Marshall. That was a big win for them. So I've got to see pretty much every game that they played thus far because we're not playing.
Yeah.
But really it works out once our season. Of course, they play this Wednesday. They play Murray at home this Wednesday. I'll be able to make that. But once they start conference play, they're Thursday, Saturday. So most of the Thursday games, a lot of those, even some of the road games, I might be able to make. But yeah, it's been much easier making that a 50-minute drive to Morehead than it was 9 hours to Missouri Western. So we're glad to have her back closer to home, and we really enjoy watching her, being able to watch her coach in person. And she's doing an unbelievable job. So I don't know how long we'll be able to keep her there, but we're going to enjoy it while we can.
Well, Coach, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Good luck this season to you and the Indians, and we'll be excited to get out there and showcase this great team you've got once again.
Thank you to head coach Alan Feldhaus of the Madison Central boys basketball team. We're looking forward to watching them play Pulaski County tomorrow night. So get out, get your tickets to the game. I know it's cold, but there's always a full house to watch Madison Central play Pulaski County. And like Coach Feldhaus just said, they've been invited to so many tournaments over this season. They will next be at George Rogers Clark in Winchester playing Greene County on Saturday, December 6th. And then back home playing GRC Tuesday, December 9th. That will be at home. So they play at home, away, and then back at home. That GRC game should be a great game. They have been selected as one of the top schools in the region, boys and girls. So that both should be very exciting. So now we'll move on to Madison Central girls basketball. Scott True is their basketball coach. He has been there for 4 seasons now, I believe. Looking forward to hearing from him. And here we go with head coach Scott True.
Here with the head coach of the Madison Central Lady Indians, Scott True. And Coach, a much different team than you've had in recent years. When there's no more Campbell twins, no more Cameron Ridrikoff. You lose a lot of the depth that you've had in recent years, but a new challenge for you in the Madison Central program. As you look ahead to this year, talk about what the offseason's been like as you've gone from being one of the most experienced teams in the 11th region to now one of the youngest teams in the region.
Well, a lot of growth. We played a lot this summer and tried to get better. We've just got so many people that not only even our older ones are in new roles. Outside of maybe Jordan, even she's got a different role. She's got to score a little more for us. Everybody's in a different role. So we've got to, we try to get them comfortable in that role as we could. But when you graduate 90% of your scoring and 90% of your rebounding, it's probably going to be a little difficult. There's going to be some bumps in the road, and we know that. But these kids have done a great job. We're getting better. And they're a great group of kids to coach, a great group of kids to be around. So we're excited about it, but we also know that we've got a lot of growing up to do here in the next 3 months.
Well, in the early part of the season, you're actually hosting the Madison Central Shootout this year. So talk about that, and it's a good chance to kind of, see some different teams out there in the early part of the season. And you'll be playing Newport Central Catholic this weekend. But there's some good competition throughout the day.
Yeah, there is. Henry Clay's coming over, St. Henry's coming over, Martin County's coming up. We've got some good games there. The last game of the night is South Laurel is playing Madison Southern. That'll be a good game. Of course, we've got Newport Central Catholic at 4:15. So pretty excited about that event. South Laurel will be, most polls are top 15, top 10 in the state. And of course, Southern, with everything they have coming back, will be one of the better teams in the 11th. So that'll be a great game. And, we get to play somebody different from Northern Kentucky. And Newport Central is not a team that's been on our schedule here lately. So, really excited about that for us. And Henry Clay coming on, my assistant with us last year, Brian Tribble, who is now the head coach at Henry Clay, is coming over. So, should be a good day of basketball.
We look at the schedule as a whole. You'll play Madison Southern early on December 12th. You get a good chance to kind of see how the district will be. You'll have Berea on the schedule and later on in the season. You got Estill County coming over to make the short trip. When you put this schedule together, what was the idea behind it? Because you've got a young team, you want to try to maybe test yourself early on, but you also want to kind of build some confidence. So what was the decision-making process like when you put this schedule together?
Well, I think you still got to play a tough schedule. I've never been a coach who just, we schedule games just to, pad the win column. Obviously, there's a little difference in it this year than last year. And as you said, you got to do kind of what's best for your team and how your team is going to improve your team. And, we've got a lot of games early. We've got, tonight and then again Thursday and then Saturday and then Monday. So we've got 4 games in the next 7 days, which will be a challenge for us. Especially with Abby King being out, not being able to play, that really hurts our scoring and our depth. And that wasn't true. I hope she'll get better. But, I think as you look at the overall schedule, we try to balance. I wanted some road games for us. We get that later in the year going to the district tournament, having a younger group that a lot of them haven't really been on the floor, at Eastern or those other places. So I want to get us on the road and get battle tested on the road so we feel a little more comfortable when we head toward the postseason.
You talked about Jordan and the expectations for her, and obviously we've seen her kind of grow each and every single year, but now kind of being the lone experienced player on the roster, what have you seen from her in that growth, and what have those conversations been like between you and her as she takes that next step into the season?
Well, she's such a good leader. She knows how to communicate. She can get on you when you need to, but she does it the right way. And I keep telling everybody she's going to coach, because every time we do a little kids camp, she's sticking around after helping the kids with camp. So she's evolved into that role a little bit, and it's really her mantle now, being the most experienced player we have. And Kamara really compliments her with that. Kamara hasn't played as much. Kamara's, again, great leader, great individual. So, and Jordan's role on the floor is still the point guard, control the ball, but she's also got to be a little more offensive minded for us. We got to have a few more points out of her than what we had last year. And again, she's evolved into that role as well. Can't say enough about her leadership and the way she goes about her business every day.
All right, when you look at the early part of the schedule, you got Mercer County at home tonight. You go on the road to Great Crossing. You talked about some of those games, 4 games in 7 days. What do you need to see from your team early on? Because obviously, as you go throughout the season, you'll get better. But what do you want to see early on to kind of give you some confidence that, okay, we're maybe a little bit ahead of schedule?
Well, I think defensively we've got to be very good. Rebounding's a concern. As small as we were last year, we were a really good rebounding team. So we've got to find some rebounding out of that deal and show that, we've been pretty good defensively. We got to continue that. But I think the biggest thing for us is how we shoot the ball and the quality shot we get. We just don't have a lot of proven scores. We have one kid who scored more than 10 points in a varsity game, and that's Jordan. So we've got to have these other kids find ways to score. And it doesn't have to be the same one every night, but we got to get somebody else in double digits, 10 to 15, consistently. The last scrimmage, that was Talia for us. She did that. She got 12 points and I think 5 rebounds. So we've got to have that consistency on the offensive end. If we get that, then I think, and that catches up to where our defense is, we'll be okay. But we've got to have kids that get confident scoring in the varsity game. And again, not having Abby right now is probably going to set that back a little bit. But if one of these other guys can step into that role and get that scoring for us early, it's just going to make us better when she does come back.
You've mentioned Abby a few times. Do you have an idea of when she'll return to the lineup?
Well, she hit her head in her first scrimmage, so we're kind of on a holding pattern with that. It's just really matter when the symptoms go away and that sort of thing. We're hoping around Christmas or before, but we don't really have anything definite as far as, a definite, this is a hard date she can start back to practice. So if we get to that long, she will sit out a month and a half. So it's not going to be a quick comeback. We'll just have to work through it and hopefully get her back healthy. That's the most important thing.
All right, last question, and we'll get you out of here. When I've talked to other coaches today, they've raved about Madison Southern. And they bring back a lot of what you all lost from last year's team. So when you look at the district as a whole, what will it take for you all to be able to once again find yourselves at the top of the district by the time the season comes to an end?
Well, I think the experience factor is really going to – we've got to get better through experience. We got kids who just got to play, and they got to be tough enough through the bumps to get better, to really have a chance. And then if we can do that, then I think we'll be in a point where we can compete, come district tournament time. But they've got a lot of experience back, with Lacey and Hadley particularly, and they've got basically their starting lineup back. So that's going to be difficult. But again, I think our kids will take on that challenge, and then we'll see kind of where it goes. And again, first of all, we got to get better, but we got to get healthy.
Yeah.
And then we got to be healthy at the end of the year, and then have learned from the season. And if we've learned from the season to step into those bigger roles, particularly on the offensive end, we'll just wait and see what happens.
Well, Coach, always a pleasure talking to you. Good luck to the Lady Indians and you tonight as you begin the season, and good luck throughout the year.
Welcome back to the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show. Samantha Burford, guess what? Michael Watkins
Listen,
is in the building.
Hey, you ain't even been here the last 2 weeks. You can't give me a hard time for showing up late.
I
have prior engagements now.
So when you interviewed Coach True today, before you were here, I could not remember if he's been here 3 years, 4 years.
This is I think he's going into his 4th year.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's well. See, I was
Well,
close.
it's the easy way to figure that out. Okay, so we're 25.
You're just gonna
26.
pull it up online.
Yeah, this is his 4th year.
Okay.
So.
I was close. That's okay. So
That
I was
phone
right.
coming in
I was
clutch.
like 3 or
But,
4.
You know, there's
I knew I was right.
what he
I
has
don't
done.
get that from you very often that I'm right.
What he has done though in
True.
the short amount of time that he's been there. I mean, they're known for their defense now.
That is true.
And as you said, they're going to have to rely on that this year because you lose 90% of your scoring,
Right.
90% of your rebounds.
Right.
You bring only Jordan Miles back with any kind of true varsity experience.
Right.
So they've got a lot to figure out in a short amount of time. And they're at work tonight. They got a
They've
game
got
tonight
their
at home.
first home game
Yeah.
tonight, Mercer County. So good luck to them. They're playing right now. That opening up the season. Here we
Yeah.
go.
And I know you started the show with the Coach Feldhouse interview.
Yes,
He talked about his daughter. How exciting is that
You
for
know
him to
what?
be able to watch her
And
coach?
for him just to be able to drive to Moorhead.
Yeah.
Instead of going, what was it, 11
Yeah,
hours
it
or
was a
something
long trip.
to go.
I think he said 9-hour trip.
9 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's a lot closer for him
And
to
so
watch
proud
her.
of her.
Yeah.
And we were there at the UK women,
When they
Moorhead
played Moorhead
State
State?
women. Yes. And that was exciting.
Yeah, and you could just
She had her
you
own
could
little fan club.
feel
the
how
whole Feldhouse
proud
family.
Oh yeah, and I saw some of former Madison Central players that were friends with her, went to school
Yeah.
with her, were there watching them too.
Yes.
But you could just hear
Lots
the
of
excitement
shout-outs.
and the proud in his voice.
As well he
that his
should
da-
be.
Oh, for sure. And she's following in Daddy's footsteps, and that's hard to do. I mean,
Yes.
that's some big shoes to fill, not only for Dad but
Yes.
Mom too. I mean, they're legends in the state of Kentucky
Can you
for what they've been
imagine
able to do.
sitting at their Thanksgiving table? The talk
that's
of
a lot of
cheer,
pressure.
the talk of basketball.
Yeah, on a football day,
And
essentially.
him going, I think you need to go look at her. I think you
Yeah.
need to, and her going, Dad, no,
I
I
got
can
it.
do this. I can do this. Dad.
Well, there's a lot of excitement surrounding that Madison Central boys basketball team, too, with the
Yes.
transfer in of Grayson Burton, the guys they bring back. He's excited about them as well, and they'll be interesting to see how they open up the schedule tomorrow at home versus Pulaski
right.
County. We will be there. That'll start our coverage. Now, this weekend, we won't have any games. Friday night, we've got the downtown Richmond Christmas Parade.
Yes,
On
we
Saturday,
do.
we've got the Berea Christmas Parade. So we'll start things off on Tuesday, but then we'll dive right in next week with a couple of games. There's some big ones early on in the week or in the schedule, but we'll kick things off or we'll tip things off tomorrow when Madison Central tips
That's
off at
right.
Pulaski County.
And I told everybody early on, we have been talking basketball, for several weeks now because
Yeah.
we got to interview the EKU
Men's basketball team,
team. Not off to the greatest start like what we
Injuries.
had hoped for.
Yeah,
but
they're
they have
1-6
got
right
four
now.
players out right now. And
two guys that they were going to be heavily relying on,
Right.
Lamar Knox, who brought experience, played in the NCAA tournament last year,
Right.
And then you got a guy like Montavious Myrick who's hurt. He was A-Sun, defensive player of the year. Like he's a
Right.
guy that has a lot of expectations on him. So for
Coop.
him not being out there,
I already call him by the nicknames because of how when we met
talked
with
to him.
A.W. Hamilton, head coach, he calls them all the
Yeah.
nicknames. So that's what I start calling them,
Well,
It's Coop. He's out too. But you know what? They got to get the one kid back in, Knox, right?
Yeah.
That's not eligible.
Exactly. That's the thing we're waiting on with him. I got to get once they get healthy, I think they'll be fine. They could go 1-15 before conference play. That's where things will matter for them.
Right.
They've
Which
got
starts,
to
what,
win
in
their conference.
January,
Yeah,
end
they
of
got about a
January.
month to figure things out.
Yeah.
Get Amar Knox back. Get Myrick back in the lineup, and I think they'll be fine. But listen, high school basketball's here.
That's
EKU
right.
men and women. I mean, it's. And here's the thing.
I can't
You
believe
look
it.
at the two losses Kentucky basketball's got. Their fans are already calling for changes there, but it's crazy.
No, I think you're misleading that to Stoops. I think they're all.
Oh, they're already for there. I mean, we got that change. It's
But
already been announced.
They are
so.
upset about
yeah.
basketball, rightfully so. And it has just been a bad few weeks between Kentucky football and Kentucky basketball.
Well, for the local stuff, for the high school teams, we've already played the two Madison Central interviews. We've got Coach Byers from Madison Southern. We'll hear from him later on, along with the head coach at Berea, Damian Stepp, who's back in his 10th season.
I know it.
That's why he's the second longest tenured coach in the district.
Yes.
That's why.
Other than Coach Feldhouse,
Yeah, he's right behind Coach Feldhouse.
Right behind Coach Feldhouse. And he is calm and cool during those games, and you just love watching him. He's such a great coach, and it's fun to watch them.
Well, let's hear from him when we come back. We'll take our first commercial break. A lot more to get to, folks. Hey, it's here, December 1st. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas. You got your Christmas shirt on.
I
got my Christmas undies
Monday.
on, so we're good to go. We're ready to rock.
We don't want to see that.
We'll be right back on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.
You know what they say. Every great season starts with a strong lineup. Need agility? The Trailblazer cuts through traffic like a wide receiver in the red zone. Power? The Silverado handles work and tailgates like a linebacker on a mission. And if you're ready to go electric, the Equinox EV has the range to go all the way. No matter your game plan, Jack Burford Chevrolet has the vehicle that suits your drive. Stop in, suit up, and let's kick off your next adventure.
We would like to invite you to join our family at Bishop's Small Engine Repair.
Outdoor Power has become a family tradition, with 3 generations here bringing you years of experience.
We will help you find the best selection of outdoor power equipment from Cub Cadet, Grasshopper, DeWalt, Makita, Echo, Shindawa, and now Steel in our Georgetown store.
Or bring your equipment into our service department. We will keep it running for years to come.
And as with all families, we have to keep Mama happy. So come on in and see us at Bishop's Small Engine Repair in Richmond and in Georgetown.
Who makes the best meal in Richmond? Nuevo Vallarta. Friendly service, a place that's good for kids and good for groups. Head to Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond. Nuevo Vallarta is known for warm hospitality, great prices, great food, and the best fajitas in town. Start with an appetizer, order a la carte, or choose from their huge menu of Mexican favorites for grown-ups and kids. Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills, when you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
Our bodies deserve more. We put them through a lot, and oftentimes the aches and the stress of everyday life can take a toll. Escape all of that and enter your sanctuary of relaxation with a trip to the massage studio in Berea. Unwind, rejuvenate, and restore balance to your body and mind with help from their expert massage therapist. Like the Massage Studio on Facebook for more information, and get back to being you. Here with Damian Stepp, the head coach of the Berea Lady Pirates, and coach, entering year 10 for you, I think, over at Berea, and obviously you've had a really good run as the head coach over there. So before we look ahead to this season, let's look back on the first 9 years and just your tenure as the head coach at Berea. When you look back on the last 9 years and all the success that you have, how do you feel now as you do get ready to enter year 10?
Well, I know it's been it seems like just yesterday, but it has been quite a while. I definitely I think that over the years we've kind of exceeded what expectations were early on. In particular, come in taking over a team that had won 3 wins the previous year, and kind of slowly getting to the point where we not only were able to find more wins, but to have times where we've been, competitive in a really tough 11th region. It was definitely a process. We've definitely kind of run cycles at this point too, because the 22 group was kind of a culmination, and so since 22 we've kind of been back into rebuild mode, and kind of trying to get back to that level. But it's definitely been a journey, and I think that the good thing is program wise, we kind of feel like there's going to be those up and down years, but I think program-wise, we're kind of in a position now to where we're able to kind of regroup and know what's coming from year to year.
When you look at the roster this year, you got a few seniors out there, but you got a very young team that's coming back. You see some 7th graders, some 8th graders, which, when you're at a smaller school, that's just kind of the case every single year. But talk about the roster and how it looks with Cadence being a senior. And I was talking to your brother the other day. He said this was the last step coming through Berea. I'll believe that when I see it. But when you look at the roster, talk about Avery and Cadence and the ones you do have coming back.
Yeah, so Avery Plessinger, she led us in scoring last year. She kind of came to us the summer before, and we kind of figured that she was going to be a decent scoring threat for us. Avery does a really good job of kind of putting the ball on the floor and kind of getting to the rim, finding contact, getting to the free throw line. Those are things that helps to produce kind of a consistent scorer, somebody who not only can shoot the ball, but what can they do on nights when maybe they're not shooting it well? I mean, can they get to the rim? Can they find themselves free throw line? So I think that that's a strength, and she's very athletic. She is a senior. She's had a lot of playing experience. Of course, Katie has kind of been. It seems like in the lineup for quite some time, but I think that she come on strong last year, especially late. Had a really good district tournament, but Katie is a kid that's also been around basketball in her entire life. She's played since 3rd and 4th grade. She's kind of gotten to come up and experience. That the last 9 years, she's either been on the sideline or in the game, kind of waiting her turn. And then you look at your 3rd senior, which is Cora Reed, and Cora was a 30 game starter last year. Had taken a little bit of time away from basketball. She was really into the volleyball stuff, and I think just got to where she just wanted to be a part of it again, and kind of got back in the fold. So, Cora's got great size. She plays really hard. She's very unselfish, sometimes too unselfish. I want her to look to be more of a scorer this year. But she's really kind of turned things up as far as her motor and intensity. She's playing much harder. And I think a lot of that's been, last year we were in a situation where when you look to the bench, you really didn't have a lot. But this year, I think that we're not super experienced or even, top heavy with talent. But I think that there's not a lot of drop off. You get down to 6, 7, 8.
When you look at so you're entering year 10. We talked about that already. What are the expectations for you this year?
Well, we put a lot of emphasis on that mid-season test of that All-A. I think last year we got to the final game. I think some of it due to the draw. We played in that championship game 9 straight years. Yeah. We won 5 of them. So I think given what we've been able to accomplish at on that level, we always our eyes always on that hopes of the winning that All-A region every year. We didn't play very well in the final last year, but we were there. So I think realistically, knowing that Model's got some starters returning, knowing that Lexington Christian lost quite a bit, but they've got some really good young kids, and they've got enough of the core from last year's team. That's going to be a little bit of uphill for us. But I think that if we can kind of get things together by that point, I think we can make a good showing in that. I think everybody has to say that Southern's kind of the team in the 44th right now. But I think that if we do it the right way and we can build that depth, I think realistically we can certainly hold our own. There's kind of a point in the season where we play Model, Central and Southern over the course of about a week.
Yeah.
And it's kind of later in the season, 3/4 of the way down the schedule or so. And so, you'll have a better feel for that, I think, when you get there. But, we're I feel like the goal here is always, we want to win a district title. And then position yourself in the region to where you can go in as a winner and, see kind of how that unfolds.
So you could hear from Damian Stepp, a confident head coach, and he's been that way for a long time, Samantha. You could see last year kind of a rebuilding season for them. They've been so good for so long. Brings a lot of those players back, and excited to see. And listen, here's the thing, too. Caden Stepp is a senior. Talking to Aaron Stepp, who was the former Berea football coach, brothers with Damian Stepp, the head coach of the girls team. He said this is the last step coming through the Berea girls program. So,
isn't that crazy?
I said, I believe that when I see it.
It seems like every year for however many years, 10 years, we've heard the Stepp name.
We've had Maddie, Reagan's come through there. They've had, and they've all been good too. And Caden's going to have to be really good this year for them.
I'm excited to watch her.
They open up their season tomorrow night at home versus Estill County, a good matchup to get the season started.
Yeah, the first 2 games are at home, so get out there to Berea girls. Fun to watch.
It's so hard to win with these smaller schools, Berea and Model. We're going to hear from Chris Evans and Scotty Sutton, the coaches for Model, whenever we come back. But it's so hard to consistently build programs. Yeah, it's your player pool isn't as big.
Right.
Central's got there's probably 5 kids that are not playing basketball for Central that could go and make the team at Model in Berea. That's how big the schools are. I remember when we played basketball in high school. Real quick, going into my senior year, there was a kid named Courtney Embry who was on Bryan Station's basketball team. Me and 3 of the guys on my team went to a basketball camp. Courtney got put on our team. He was by far our best player. All 4 of us started for the school we went to. Courtney didn't even play for Bryan Station.
Right. But
he was by far the best player we had on our team.
That says something, doesn't it?
Yeah, he played for Bryan Station, but he was very, very good.
You're telling this quick story, but it's funny to think of the difference now, how I am compared to how I was like my freshman year as a cheerleader. Yeah. I didn't understand.
You smell a lot better now.
The difference between district, region.
Yeah.
You don't learn all that in middle school, and then you show up in high school and you're like, wait, we got another tournament?
Yeah.
We made it? I'm like, oh. And now, I taught all that to my girls back when they were in middle school.
Hey, that's what I'm trying to do with this basketball team I'm coaching right now.
Yeah,
so
I started off the show telling him that he was 2 or 3, right? He's 2.
Who, Beckett? He's 5. He'll be 6 in like a month.
Jesus, how is the time gone
that's
that
how fast it. But it's
listen, I was way wrong.
It's very hard to cut.
He's 5.
He is 5. He'll be 6 on New Year's Eve, so it's coming right around the corner. But listen, we've got Model to get to, and then we've got an interview with Coach Byers from Madison Southern as well. Let's take another commercial break. We'll come back. We'll hear from both Chris Evans, the Model's boy coach, and Scotty Sutton, the girls coach, as well as they begin their seasons this week. Don't go anywhere, folks. A lot more to get to on our season preview for basketball. This is the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.
You know what they say. Every great season starts with a strong lineup. Need agility? The Trailblazer cuts through traffic like a wide receiver in the red zone. Power? The Silverado handles work and tailgates like a linebacker on a mission. And if you're ready to go electric, the Equinox EV has the range to go all the way. No matter your game plan, Jack Burford Chevrolet has the vehicle that suits your drive. Stop in, suit up, and let's kick off your next adventure.
We would like to invite you to join our family at Bishop's Small Engine Repair.
Outdoor Power has become a family tradition, with 3 generations here bringing you years of experience.
We will help you find the best selection of outdoor power equipment from Co-Cadet, Grasshopper, DeWalt, Makita, Echo, Shindawa, and now still in our Georgetown store.
Or bring your equipment into our service department. We will keep it running for years to come.
And as with all families, we have to keep Mama happy. So come on in and see us at Bishop's Small Engine Repair in Richmond and in Georgetown.
Who makes the best meal in Richmond? Nuevo Vallarta. Friendly service, a place that's good for kids and good for groups. Head to Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond. Nuevo Vallarta is known for warm hospitality, great prices, great food, and the best fajitas in town. Start with an appetizer, order a la carte, or choose from their huge menu of Mexican favorites for grown-ups and kids. Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills, when you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
Our bodies deserve more. We put them through a lot, and oftentimes the aches and the stress of everyday life can take a toll. Escape all of that and enter your sanctuary of relaxation with a trip to the massage studio in Berea. Unwind, rejuvenate, and restore balance to your body and mind with help from their expert massage therapist. Like the Massage Studio on Facebook for more information, and get back to being you.
Here with Coach Evans of the Model Patriots. And, Coach, looking at your roster, you've got some guys you bring back, and Riley Millette's one that we've all kind of, I think, fell in love with locally. A big man that can shoot the ball, do a little bit of everything, and I think he and Jaden Bingham will be two of the key guys for you all this year.
Yeah, no doubt. Those two are two really good players, talented players. I think they would play, for any team in the region. Riley, of course, it'll be his fourth year starting at Model, and he's closing in on the all-time leading rebounder in the school history, and he's got a good chance to be the second all-time leading scorer at Model, and an outside chance, if he has some bigger games, to even become the all-time leading scorer at Model. So, definitely, like I said, two talented kids that will be a center point for us.
When you're coaching at a smaller school like Model or a Berea, and the folks around here, the fans love them, but it's so hard to consistently build a winning program. But you've got guys, like I said, Riley and Jaden. You've got Landon Mayo, a good shooter. You've got some younger guys that you'll be looking to get out there this year. Talk about the roster and how it's hard to build that consistency. But when you have one of those years where, man, everybody gets behind you, it can be something special.
It is hard. It's a challenge. Just building the numbers up, I think that's been the biggest obstacle since I've been at Model. There was a couple classes there that didn't have, any kids really in it. We've had some kids that's moved in and kind of helped. I kind of talk about putting a Band-Aid on it, but in the long run, you got to get your own guys in there, and you got to have guys that you develop from day one, and that you can build upon. And we've had we've had a few guys do that, but we've also had a lot of kids that's 1 year, 2 year, and then they're done type deal. So that's a big part of building it up. We do have, the good thing about us is, after this year, we do start to have some numbers. Really our sophomore group down. So sophomores, freshmen, the 8th grade class, there's several kids in each of those that will be able to play. And that's, it also goes into practice, not just games. So it's hard for us sometimes to simulate game-like, reps and practice. And it's, that's the challenging part. But overall, it's building up. It's getting better each year. It's got a little bit better. Last year, it was a winning season. I think it was the first in 6 seasons. So, that's a stepping stone. We just want to continue to build on that. I think we have a chance to, again, have a winning year and be pretty decent, especially in the All-A. So, that's our goals at the moment. And, a lot of people too, though, I think the more you do and the more you invest, other people see that and they want to, be a part of it. So we see our youth league is starting to build. That's something that we just started, and we see a lot of people that's really excited about that.
You talked about the 11th Region All-A tournament. You play Berea in the first round this year. That's a team that obviously in the same district you're familiar with. So that game, and I mean, looking at what they bring back, that could maybe be the deciding factor. I know LCA is pretty good too, but that 11th Region All-A tournament this year, it's stacked. There's a lot of good teams competing in that.
Yeah, I mean, the All-A is, it's always going to be competitive. It's not. I don't think it's as dominated as, the top of the region is right now. Currently in the 11th region, you got several teams that's just, it's always at the top. I think the All-A is, I've kind of seen teams go up and down in that. Sayre has been really good the last couple of years, and that's made it tough. So I think going into last year, they was kind of a lock, I think, really to win the All-A, which they still got good young guys. And like I said, LCA's got good young guys, and Frankfurt's a very, very talented roster. Some people think they have the best freshman class in the whole region. I think a lot of people's probably right on that. They got a very talented group, but it's definitely more open than what it has been, and I think there's a handful of teams that could win it. So we just have to see, and our draw, we got a good draw on our side. Us and Berea, we play, and Sayre. And the reason I say that is because Frankfurt and LCA's on the other side playing each other. And I think probably going into it, those would be the two favorites.
So when you look at your team, and obviously when you're starting the season, you got a lot of young guys, but is there somebody that you're just excited to see out there on the court against other teams, for fans that may not know much about Model, going to see you all this year? What's one player, or give us a player or two that you're excited to see that fans will be excited to watch out there on the court?
We got we got numerous guys that can be that, but what I'd say, I think Landon Mayo will be different to see. He's played for us, but he's always been young and smaller, been kind of forced into those spots. He's grown a lot. He's really bulked up. He's hit the weight room really hard. He's a really good athlete. I think speed-wise, he's probably as fast as anybody, that you'll play. I'm excited to see him kind of have a year where he's now the same size as everybody and still has a skill level. Jaden Bingham, he's another talented player. He can shoot, can really shoot. So I just hope that, he has a good, healthy year and stick with us. And so overall, I think we got a solid, core there. And like I said, we should be pretty competitive. But I don't really want to say too much. I think, even last year, I still think we had a good team. We just had some really bad luck. And a lot of people don't notice we had one kid playing every game that was in the top 6 players.
Yeah.
So that makes it really tough. So we just got to stay healthy and try to build upon what we've been doing.
Well, you talked about, you had one kid that played all those games, and you still had a winning season. I know this year is exciting for you to get started as well. So good luck this year, Coach, to you and the Patriots, and we'll be excited to get out there and showcase your team. Here with Scotty Sutton from the Model Lady Patriots. And, Coach, another year for you leading this program. Still a very young basketball team, but you've got some senior leaders that are coming back. Talk about the leadership that you have with players like Piper Moore and some of the other seniors that will be out there with her.
Yeah, it's been pretty special this year. It's, it's very interesting the way our team lays out. We have 5 seniors, and then we have 1 freshman, and then we have everybody else is middle school. So it's a huge jump. But those 5 seniors, 4 of the 5 have been with me now for at least 2 years, and we had a senior move in this year, Addie Wakefield, and just a special group of kids. The only bad thing I can say about them is none of them want to talk. So out there on the floor, they're all so quiet in nature that, I can't get them to say anything out there. But, they come to practice every day. They work hard. They do whatever I ask. And, when you have a team like that and a special group like that, you want to win so badly just for them. Just because, they've done everything, we've gone through years where there's headaches and this year, none of that has happened. And so I'm like, sometimes I even catch myself because I don't yell at them in times when maybe I should just because I'm like, well, they're so nice. I don't want to get on them too bad. So, but a good, a special group of girls.
When you have a lot of younger players like that, how hard is it to bring them along, especially early on in the year when you're playing these games and you're going on the road? How hard is it to kind of integrate some of those younger players into a senior-led team?
It is, but I'll tell you, Michael, it's last year a lot of those girls were seventh graders, and I feel like they have really done their job. Now it's kind of like, as crazy as it sounds, we have about 7 8th graders, and they kind of know the drill. And so I don't have to get on them too much. Now, they're a little bit more, they have so many things going on in their life. And, a lot of them just got done with a little middle school volleyball action, so they had to miss practices here and there. So that's difficult. But I really feel like the majority of that group understands what's going on, and they know how to act on the bus. They know it's not a field trip. It's, we're going there to win a game. And so I've been real pleased with them. And they haven't, I think because of last year, there were times, oh my gosh, there's Riley Hunt. This year I'm going out there to play basketball as hard as I can, and they haven't backed down one bit. And I've been so proud of them.
What do you want to see from the team early on? Because, when you got a young team, confidence can wear. I mean, it could be high. Sometimes it could be very low. So what do you want to see from them early on in the season to try to get that confidence high and kind of keep that as you go throughout the grind of a long 3 or 4 month season?
Yeah, I think more than anything is they all know that they have the ability to put the ball in the basket, but they got to have that confidence. And I'm talking about the 5 seniors because they've never really been relied on to do that. The last couple of years, we had Maya Bondari, and then last year Riley, and it was, they could just sort of, be there and score their 6 points. And now, they got to put the ball in the basket if we're going to win. So, and I don't expect any of them to average 15 a game for me. I would love to see, 3 of them average 9 and 2 of them average 7. And I think if they'll do that, we can win, a lot of games. But they have to go out there and say, okay, here we are in the middle of the fourth quarter. Somebody's got to put the ball in the basket when it's a 2-point game, and I want to see somebody step up and do that.
You talked about Piper Moore, and I feel like that's probably the name that people will recognize more because she has been a player that has gotten some minutes over the last few years. Yeah. What do you need to see from her? Like, what have the conversations been like? What have you seen from her in practice as y'all start the season? Just talk about her and how special she is as a player.
Yeah, and the conversations we've had is, really just take it to the next level. Our strength is going to be, her and Tiari down low. I can run a double post with them, and if it's a zone, they can high-low, and so she's got to take it to the next level on the rebounding side and the scoring side. And when we get the ball down there to her, not a lot of fanning out. I want to see her going to the rim and either getting fouled or sticking it. So that's the biggest thing. I know she's going to rebound the ball for us. And she's been a leader in other ways, like she's the one that will send the group text out. And, here's a girl, in today's world, not a lot of athletes, whether it be boys or girls, play 3 sports. She has played the last 3 years, 3 varsity sports each year. And this year she's going to play 4. Because not only did she play volleyball, but she played goalie for the soccer team.
Okay.
And then she's going to play for me. And then, on the softball field, she's been a mainstay at either on the pitching mound or at first base and hitting in that 4 hole. And so when you have a girl like that, sometimes you think, she might take a day off here and there. Never does she miss. Never. I mean, when I walk out of my office onto the floor, I know I'm going to see her. And so somebody you can rely on, and so I'm so excited for her, and I hope she finishes strong.
Well, Coach, good luck to you and the Lady Patriots. You'll start the season tomorrow versus Trinity Christian at home. You got a lot of home games this year, so folks need to get out and support your team.
So good to hear from Coach Evans and Coach
That's right.
Sutton as they begin their seasons this week as well. And, you know, it's a fun time of year. See, and talking to all these coaches, you could hear the excitement as the season's officially here.
Yes, and it's scary that they've already got some injuries. But looking forward to what everyone seems to say the favorite out there this season.
Yep. Madison Southern, on the girl. We started with the boys, Madison Central. They're probably the favorite on the boys' side. Southern's girls, probably the favorite. Talking to all three of the girls' coaches here in the district, they know that the Lady Eagles bring a lot back. Let's hear from Juan Byers, who begins his first season as the head coach of the Lady Eagles. Here with Coach Byers of the Madison Southern Lady Eagles, and Coach taking over a program with some high expectations, but a very tough 11th region. As you start the year, just talk about the confidence level in the team, the vibe as you guys get ready for your first season as the head coach.
Thanks for having me. We've had a pretty good preseason leading up to last week. We got a couple of nagging injuries that have accumulated over the last couple practices, but I think we'll be fine. We got a strong group of seniors that are going to lead us, and we're excited about this upcoming season.
When you look at the roster, you bring back Hadley French, obviously with the injury last year, didn't have the season she wanted to have. Lacey Sandlin is someone that kind of picked up the scoring slack, can kind of do, play both sides of the court and be a really impact player. And you've got some young players as well. So talk about the roster and how you see things playing out with your early on in the season with your rotation and as you go into the postseason.
Yeah, we're definitely going to lean on our senior leadership with Lacey Sandlin and Hadley French. They're two of the top players in the region. We're going to lean on them heavily, like I said, and we're going to expect them to lead. We also have our young crew with Bree Hensley and Cammie Durson and Lily Kirk. We're excited about that sophomore group. And also, we got a few freshmen that are going to step up and give us some valuable minutes early with Anna Kate Kress, Avery Simmons, and Addie Collier.
When you look at, the 11th region, there's a lot of teams last year that were competing, but Douglas was so good. Their size, their length, their athleticism. So for your team, what will be important for you all to kind of figure out as you go throughout the year about what you're able to do and competing in the 11th region?
Yeah, our biggest thing right now we'll be concentrating on is ball security. Just looking back at the previous years of the girls and being able to, have success just handling pressure, that's going to be our forefront. That's going to be definitely a level of focus that we have, and just limiting those unforced turnovers and being able to turn other people over. Where our style is going to be a little bit more exciting than they used to here in the past, and we're just going to try to make it exciting for everyone.
Well, you talked about that. I was going to ask my next question. When we talked earlier on in the year, you kind of wanted to see how the roster was and things like that, but you have a style of play that you'd like to play. Has that meshed well with the team? And talk about that fact. What can folks expect when they come out and watch Madison Southern play this year?
We're going to be exciting to watch. We have a lot of young ladies that can shoot the basketball, that can score, and I'm not going to put a leash on any of them. I want them to go out and have fun, but we're definitely going to be a team that applies pressure, not only in the full court, but in the half court. But we're going to be smart also to be able to run and run our stuff that we've been practicing on in the preseason to get those, those shooters and getting the ball where we want to it every possession.
So every year, when players meet with their coaches and y'all have that beginning of the season meeting, you all set goals. Talk about what the goals are for this team and what it will take for you to reach those.
Yeah, we only have 3 goals. And, whatever individual goals that our teams have set for themselves will be attainable if we attain these 3 goals. Number 1 is to win our district. This district has been tough for years, and it's going to be a battle just to get out of our district. Number 2 is win the region. We'll win the region, and then our 3rd goal is attainable, and that's making us a RUP. And that's, really the only 3 goals we have. If we shoot a certain percentage and if we, limit our turnovers and a lot of other things that a lot of coaches like to talk about, within the course of the year. But if we are able to do the things that we're going to set aside for each game, our goals for each game, I think we should be fine.
All right, last question for yourself. As the season begins tonight for your team, as you welcome Wayne County into Berea, how do you feel? Talk about your excitement level about getting the season started.
This is the best time of the year when December hits. Everybody is, colleges, the NBA is playing, and we are the last to get started. So I'm excited about tonight. I'm excited about our team, and I'm excited for the Southern community. Southern has always wanted a champion, and we're trying our best. We're going to give our best foot forward to be able to do those things and put a good product on the floor.
Good luck to all of our Madison Central, Madison Southern, Model, Berea, all the coaches, girls and boys. We're so excited for you to join us tonight. Thank you for watching our preseason show.
Yep.
Glad
and don't
to
forget,
have
tomorrow
you back.
night, Madison Central takes on Pulaski County.
7:30.
Yeah, we'll see you then, folks. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next Monday, too, on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.